Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia, and since we're in January, happy new year, and I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and the beginning of 2025. And in this video we're gonna be working on this crop cardigan. So it's a very simple one. As you guys know, I do simple projects so that beginners and advanced can enjoy the videos. So this is gonna be something that is very simple. I also work where I measure to fit, so I don't talk about how many number of rows, how many number of chains to begin with for whatever sizes. I just explain how you can measure to get to fit any size that you're making for. Okay, so this is what we're gonna be working on right here. So go ahead and grab your materials and let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so before we get started, I'm going to show you the materials that you need or I'm going to be using in the project. And as you can see here, I have my yarn from Azurite, 100% acrylic by Timmins. It's Azurite by Timmins, 100% acrylic. This color here is 3025. I will refer to it as red or dark red or whatever. You can obviously use any color of your choice, any yarn of your choice as well. This skein here is 50 grams or 140 meters. Recommended hook size is 3.5 to 4 millimeter crochet hook. So it's a lightweight number 3. This is what we have for the yarn here. Okay. For crochet hook size, I'm using my favorite, which is a 5 millimeter crochet hook or H8 US. If you're a beginner and you don't know how to control your tension, try to use a recommended hook size for the yarn. I can use a 7 millimeter crochet hook for this, and I can control the tension properly. So often, depending on how kind of like stretchy or loose I want my project to be, I will up the hook size. But I can also control, because this is not too much compared to, it's not too high compared to this. I can control my tension very easily and get even stitches. If you're a beginner, try to go with a recommended hook. Okay, so that's what we have. I have my darning needle here to be able to join our panels. I have some stitch markers here. I just recently started using a pin here as well for my stitch marker, but I have a whole bunch of these and I just have, I think, 1 or 2 of these. So you need a few if you need to be able to put it in multiple places in your project. You have a scissors, or get a scissors if you don't have one, to be able to cut your strands. And then of course there's a tape measure to be able to determine the sizes. Okay, so this is everything that you need. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, my lovelies, so to get the project started, you're going to start by doing a foundation chain. And so for the foundation chain, it's going to be the length, because we're working the length of the sweater. You're going to determine how long you want your sweater to be, and then you can do the chains that are appropriate for it. I get a lot of questions asking how many chains to do for an extra small, how many to do for a small and medium and things like that. I don't go with giving you number of chains to do, because I myself find it very complicated. Somebody tells me this is their size and I try to go by stitch numbers, and then it turns out it doesn't fit them. So I just measure the person and then I go by the measurements. Okay. So for me, what I do, for example, what we are about to start with here is a back panel for our sweater. So I just determine how long I want my sweater to be. I want it to be a crop sweater, so therefore it's gonna be shorter. So I have decided I'm going to be doing a chain of 70. Okay, so I just do my slip knot just like this. Okay, and then I start by doing a chain of 70. So if you want it to be even more shorter than that, you may go with a smaller number of chains or less chains. If you want it to be longer, of course, you can then increase the number of chains until you have the length that you want. But for this cropped sweater, for me, for a small, I make mine in a small. I do a chain of 70. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I have my chain of 70 here, which is the length of my sweater. This is the back panel. We're going to be working with the total number of panels for this sweater is going to be 5. We're going to do a back panel, 2 front panels, and then of course a panel for each of the sleeves. Okay, so this is my chain of 70 here. If I take my tape measure and I just kind of put that against it without pulling or without stretching it at all, I have about 15.5 inches. Okay, well, let's move it. Yeah, it's about 16 inches. Okay, so my 16 inches is how long my sweater is going to be, and like I said, it's a crop sweater, so it's perfect that is this length for me. I'm going to add 1 chain for a turning chain. Okay, and that's gonna be where I don't work anything into. So I go on right to the next chain right here, and I'm gonna yarn over, go to the back loop of that chain and complete a half double crochet, just like that. And then I'm gonna yarn over, go to the next, complete a half double crochet, and then to the next, and I'm just gonna go all the way down to the bottom. Okay, now by going all the way down to the bottom, I don't mean all the number of chains. I'm going to leave out number of chains here that is going to be worked with a single crochet. So what I can do now is I can count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's say 10, 11, 12. Let's say I do 12. It's often between 10 and 12 that I would leave. I would leave for a single crochet. So I'm just gonna put my stitch marker right on the 12th stitch, just like that. So I will work the half double crochets in the back loop until I come to the second stitch from the stitch marker, so the last one before the stitch marker, and then I will come back to the video and I will show you what to do there. But for now, just work your half double crochets all the way to the stitch before the stitch marker. Okay, and then come back. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed my half double crochets here, and then now I have come to where my stitch marker is. So I'm just going to remove that stitch marker and place it down for a moment, and then from that chain here all the way to here, which is 12 stitches, I am going to be working single crochets in the back of the foundation chain, just to make sure we have it a little bit snatched. So this is gonna be the bottom part of our panel, which is the bottom part of the sweater. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead. Oh, I just did 3 here, so this is where the stitch marker was. So as soon as you do your first single crochet, place a stitch marker on it so you don't forget, because otherwise you have to count every time that you work this number of stitches here. Okay, so you put your stitch marker back and then just finish the rest of the row here by doing single crochets in the back of the foundation chain. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just working my way down here. So again, we're working with the back panel first. It's the widest panel we're going to be doing, and then we're going to do the 2 front panels, and then eventually we're going to do the sleeve panels. Okay, so I just go ahead and finish this. I have 2 more, so just go here, and then finally the last one here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so that's the first row completed here. Okay, and then we're gonna start our second row. I'm gonna do a chain of 1 and turn, and we work in the back loops for the rest of this project here. Okay, so this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, and so in that stitch right here, we're gonna go ahead and grab the back loop to complete our single crochet, like that. And then we're gonna go ahead and grab the back loop of the next stitch and complete a single crochet, and then in the next, and then we go all the way up to where the stitch marker is. So if you were to not have a stitch marker and you don't know where your 12th stitch is, then make sure you count, which would be from the very first stitch that you did. You count until you get to the 12th stitch, and then after the 12th stitch, the 13th is going to be a stitch of half double crochet, but still in the back loop, just like the single crochets. But if you have a stitch marker, it helps a lot, because then you don't have to waste time counting every time. So you just go ahead and complete it until you have the stitch marker, and remember the stitch marker is your 12th single crochet stitch. So remove it, do a single crochet in the back loop of that stitch, replace it back, and then do the next stitch is now a stitch of half double crochet in the back loop, and then you just continue that all the way to the top. Okay, so go ahead and complete your half double crochets in the back loop until you get to the second last, and then come back to the video, and I'm just going to show you how I work in the final stitch. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and start the next row together. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my second row, and as you can see, I am all the way at the top here. So I have one stitch to go, and I'm gonna work a half double crochet as well, but it's gonna be going through both loops as opposed to just one loop. Okay, well, the back loop only. So I grab both loops like this to complete that final stitch. So that's what I wanted to show you guys. And then I will chain one, which also does not count as a stitch. So it doesn't count as a stitch on this end. It doesn't count as a stitch on the other end. And then I flip my work, or I turn my work. And then in that stitch, I go into the back loop and complete my first half double crochet, and then into the next stitch. And then I just continue these all the way to where the stitch marker is. And then I will remove the stitch marker. That stitch becomes my first stitch of the single crochet in the back loop, and then I work it all the way, and then for my final stitch I go through both loops as opposed to just one. Okay, so the same thing that I do on here at the end of the row, I do that in the bottom as well at the end of the single crochet rows. Okay, so this being the back panel, it's going to be the widest panel that we're doing for this project. So you're going to measure your body in the back from shoulder to shoulder, and that's going to be how you determine. And if you need it to be tight, you're going to make it smaller, and if you need it to be kind of loose and comfortable, you're going to make it like that. So you're going to determine how many rows to do based on that length. So let's say the wideness of your back is, let's say, 20 inches, then you're going to make sure you do 20 inches worth of rows. So that's what I'm going to do here as well. Nothing to explain any further than this. Is repeat of the half double crochets, and then for the 12 final stitches you do single crochets, and then you repeat. Okay, so go ahead and do that. When you have the length of the back, or the width of the back, come back to the video and I will do the same, and then we will talk about the other panels that we have to do as well. Okay, so I'll see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and worked my back panel here, and as you can see, this is just how it looks. This is going to be the bottom of the sweater, and this is going to be the top here. And just for measurement purposes, I'm just going to quickly do the measurement here. So if we measure the widest part of the sweater here, we are at about just a tiny bit under 20 inches. Okay, so 20 inches is usually my size, but under 20 is not a big deal. I could do one more row, but I'd like my rows to be even, so I did 60 rows. I don't want to do 61 rows just to get that much of like a quarter of the inch. Okay, so I have my length, my size here for my back panel completed. So we're gonna go ahead and put these away. So as you can see, I cut off the yarn and I left a little bit of the tail because we're gonna join the front panel to it here. So I just left enough that will be enough to join the second panel on top, and I'll do the same with the other side. Okay, so that is it here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this to the side. For the front panels, which is what we're gonna be working on next, we're going to pretty much start everything exactly the same as this. So I can show you guys how to do it, but it's literally just the exact same thing that you did for the body panel. We do 71 rows, 70 being the number of stitches, but the 71st row, chain is a turning chain, so you don't count that, or it's a working chain, so you don't count that. So you have 70 stitches here. You put your stitch marker on the 12th stitch. If you count from this side here, you put your stitch marker there, just like we did, and then you just work your number as it is. So you have half double crochets, and then for 12 stitches underneath you do single crochets. So I'm gonna just quickly Yeah, and then what you do is you do the number of rows that is going to be so I have 60 rows here. I'll probably do let's say 12 to 22 rows, 22 rows on this side, and it will leave the middle. The reason we leave the middle that wide is because we're going to do a bordering in the middle. Okay, we're going to do a stitch in the middle to kind of bring it together. But for now, I'm going to just kind of explain to you guys to just go do your 2 panels for the front panel. What I will do is I will do 22 rows on this side, 22 rows on this side. So I will have 2 pieces that are 22 rows each. And if you put those together, you end up with 44 rows. And then the remaining in the middle is going to be what you can work by doing the middle of the sweater. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. There's no need for me to repeat doing it because we just do it exactly as this. So come back when you have your 2 panels for the front panels. Okay, I will see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I worked just the one of the front panels here, and I came back to show you guys. Instead of doing the 2 of them immediately, I just finished my first one, and then I came back to show you guys how that would look like. So as you can see, this is my back panel here. So the front panel will go, so I have my 22 rows here that I had told you guys in the last clip. So I have my front panel that will just go like this, and as you can see, I have this other side. The other one will bring me to about right here with this amount of gap left in the middle. And then with this, I will do a border that will probably come up to here and up to here, leaving me with a little gap in the middle here, which is normal for like a sweater that has an opening in the front, or the cardigan that has a opening in the front. Okay, so this is how your 22 rows will look like. And then when you finish, so which I just did here, I will finish this and then start a second one, duplicating and making it the exact same as this. So, but instead of, before starting my second one, I'm gonna show you guys one of the sleeve panels that I finished as well, because all of this work is worked exactly the same, except the panels are different number of rows and also different number of stitches to begin it with. So let me grab the sleeve panel that I completed so I can show you, and then I will explain how to do that. And what you will do is you just work on all the panels at the same time and then come back when it's time to join everything. Okay, so let me grab my sleeve panel that I have started and completed. Okay, my lovelies, so this is the panel for my sleeve that I completed here. So again, just to explain, so we did 70 rows for the back panel, which means we did 70 rows for 70 stitches. 70 stitches to begin with, 70 stitches to begin with for the front panel, which we will do a second one because we finished this first, we'll do 2. And then for the sleeve, I did 80. So I have 80 stitches here. And for number of rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I did 40 rows for the sleeve. And to be able to determine the length or the size of your sleeve, for the length, you just measure from your wrist all the way to under your armpit. And that's how you determine the length of the sleeve. And then for the width of the sleeve, I measure the widest part of my arm. And then I can increase the number of rows from that point on if I want it loose and how loose I want it. If I want it too tight, then I will do exactly the circumference of the widest part of my arm. But often sweaters, unless you want a really like tight to the body sweater, but this one is not going to be like that. You're going to have it a little bit loose. So I just did this number of rows that is corresponding to how I want it to sit, and also from experience of doing other sweaters for myself before. Okay, so with that said, I have my 80 rows here for how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I have my my 40 rows, not 80, sorry, 40 rows of my sleeve. And then I have my 24 rows of each of the front panels, and I believe I had 60 rows for the back panel. So work on all of your panels. So I have one sleeve completed, one front panel completed, one the back panel is completed. So I have 2 panels to do, which is the second sleeve panel and the second front panel. So do the same, and then when you complete that, come back and we will just be joining and then doing the middle part of the sweater. Okay, I will see you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed all of my panels here. So as you can see, I'm just gonna lay them all here so you can see. So of course we started off with our back panel, which is this guy here. Okay, so I'm just gonna put it like this. I apologize, but by the way, for my voice, I'm recovering. You will probably hear me apologizing in a few videos because I'm kind of stocking up on videos right now. But I am working while I'm sick, so I apologize for my voice. So this is my back panel here, and I have my two front panels. So these guys here, one will go like this, and the other one here, and I hope you guys can see. If you don't see everything on the screen, it's okay, you get the idea. And this one here like that. So these are my my three panels, the back, the front, the two fronts. And then of course I have my sleeve panels here as well completed. So obviously one of these guys will go here and the other guy will go on this side here. Okay, so I'm gonna explain how to join, because I'm not gonna show you guys particularly how to join, but I'm gonna show you the top here. I think that's what I will do. I will show you how to join the two front panels to the back panel, and then I will explain how we join the sleeve panels, and then after that we can do the front here. Okay, so I'm gonna just put the sleeve panels away for now, and then we're gonna talk about joining these guys here. So the first thing that you always want to determine is which side is going to be your inside of the sweater and which side is going to be the outside of your sweater. So the way I have it laid out here is, this is how I want my outside of the sweater to be. Okay, so this is the outside. So with that said, it means I will actually join it the opposite way. So which means I remove these guys here and I flip this like this, because this is what I want as my inside. So I'm going to leave that like this, and then I'm going to do the same with the two panels here. I'm going to flip them like this, and I'm going to join them as they are literally facing the opposite direction like this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start joining. I have my strings here to join, so this guy here and this guy here. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with just any of the sides. So this side here seems like I have actually the yarn is on the right side, but this side it's on the wrong side, so I'll probably just use this to join some other part. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grab my darning needle. What do I have here? I'll get this one so that the color contrast is easy to see. So, and then I will just put this into the darning needle, something like that. Okay, and then I will just line up my work really nice like this. And you know that we have how many? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. We have 24 rows here, so we want to make sure that we are stopping at 24 as well. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So we're going to be joining until right about here. Okay, and I do this because just winging it, it's okay, but sometimes you may lose your spot and then you end up for some reason maybe kind of pulling this too much and it goes off and it doesn't line up to the number of stitches. So what I do is I just count it like this, and I'll grab a stitch marker and I'll put a stitch marker on that stitch so I know not to join past that section. Okay, it will just make it easy so that you don't accidentally pull on one side. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. So we're gonna just do that here, and I'm gonna put my pin there so that it looks works as a stitch marker. Okay, now to join, I'm just gonna grab my darning needle here. I'm gonna go into this very first stitch here. Okay, and I'm just gonna go through both loops just like that, and then the first stitch on the other side, go through both loops, and I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna do this here one more time just like that. Okay, and then to join, you're just going to go, because there's no actual stitches to actually go into that are guiding you, you're just going to kind of not wing it per se, but you're going to just work by making sure you don't have too much of a gap between your where you're putting your darning needle, and then you're also making it so that it's not too close to each other. And also you're making sure that you're not pulling too much in this section here, because you don't want your work to wrinkle up. You just want to do something very easy and soft, okay? And at the same time, you're just picking the very minimum on top. You're not going too deep into the work like this. For example, you would not want to do something like that, okay? It's way too deep into the material. You just want to do something very simple on top. Grab a few strands of the work on top, and you pull, and you just continue these all the way until you get to where your stitch marker is, or in this case my pen that counts as a stitch marker. Okay, so I will have you guys do that. When you have finished it here, come back to the video, and then we will see how it looks like, and then I will complete the second part off camera. And then when we have those two, which will pretty much have the 3 panels joined, then I will explain how we join the sleeve panels, okay? How to join the sleeves to the body of the sweater, okay? So go ahead and complete this here. Meet me when you get back to the stitch marker. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed joining the top here. So as you can see, it's looking a little bit rough on this side, but that's why I want this side to be the inside of my cardigan. So what I do after I finish, I just usually do a little bit of a pull, not too much, just to make it so that it's not too kind of crunched up like this. And this is gonna be the inside. So if you flip it to the other side, this is gonna be the outside of your sweater, okay? So it's gonna pretty much fold like this. Okay, so this is done here. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, so I would obviously ask you guys to do the same. So make sure you count out your 12 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12. By 12 I mean 24, by the way, because I'm just doubling up the counting here. And I'm gonna put my stitch marker right over here so that I don't end up doing an uneven part. So, and because I'm right-handed, I'm gonna just flip my work like this so I can join from here to the stitch marker. So I have again my yarn that is left over here. So I'm gonna again bring in my darning needle, and then we're gonna put the yarn there like this. Come on, there you go. And then I am gonna do the same thing that I did on the other side right here, okay? So you go ahead and do the same, just join it here, and then when you have completed that, come back to the video, and then we will talk about the next step, okay? See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined my 2 front panels to the back panel, and as you can see, that is pretty much how it looks like. Okay, this is again going to be the inside of our sweater, and the other side is going to be the outside, okay? So now that I have completed this, we have to join our 2 sleeve panels on. So when we fold our sweater like this, this is going to be how it looks like without the sleeves. But we're going to get the sleeve that we're going to, if we fold it in a half, then it's going to fit here, right here like this, okay? I hope you can see this on camera. So we're going to pretty much put the sleeve here like this, and then of course the opposite side. So the way I do it, just to make it easy, is that whatever side I want to do, I place it down like this. I place it down just like this, okay? Because I'm gonna join the sleeve around here. So what I do is I take the sleeve and I just put it somewhere like this, okay? Like I kind of measure. You can use your tape measure to measure to make sure this from here to the middle is the same distance as from here to here. And then what you can do is you can put your stitch markers so that it holds the beginning and the end together, and then you just join it across. You just go like this, and you're gonna fold it like this, and with your stitch marker holding this place in place, you're gonna join across all the way like that, okay? And then when you finish this, you do it on the other side as well. And then when this is joined, then you can flip it back. And when you flip it back, it's going to pretty much lay like the way I showed you, which is after you join the sleeve to it, it's pretty much going to look like this, okay, when you fold it back. And then of course it's open in the bottom here, so you're gonna do the same where you join. What I do is I start from this side of the sleeve and I just join it across all the way here to the bottom here. So now it's gonna be a tube that you can put your arm through like this. And then when that's done, then you join the bottom here from the bottom of the armpit all the way down to the bottom here. And then when you finish this, you do the exact same thing on the other side. So by the time you have it done, it's pretty much a sweater that you can put on and wear, except we're obviously going to work on the front area here so that it brings it in a little bit and it looks nice, okay? So go ahead and join your 2 sleeves to the body of the sweater, and then obviously join everything so that it's almost like a completed sweater. When you have that done, come back to the video and we're gonna start working on the middle part here, okay? See you guys then. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and joined the panels together here for the complete sweater. So as you can see, everything is done. The bottom of the sleeve here, the side of the sweater, on both sides, everything is done. I also took the liberty to go ahead and cut off or weave in all the ends as well, just so I don't have to do that at a later time. So that is all done. So as you can see, it's pretty much a sweater that you can now wear, except obviously the middle part here is way too gappy because we left it like this so we can bring it in with doing a couple of rows in the middle, okay? So the first thing that we're going to do is we've been working on the sweater on the inside out. So this is the part of the sweater that is going to be the inside. So now for this next part, we're just going to flip it so that it's actually the right side up, okay? The right side out. So I'm just putting my hands through the sleeves here and pulling them through so I can flip the sweater to the right side that we would be wearing it on, okay? So this is how the right side is like. And for the rest of the remaining part of the project here, we're going to be working on it while it's facing the right side out like this, okay? Now with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get started with what I need to do here. So I'm going to flip my work because we're going to be working from this corner here all around the top and then to the other side. And so I'm going to place it just like this so I can work from it starting from here. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to prepare my yarn here, obviously. And then I will show you how to do the first row here, maybe the second and third row, and then I will have you guys work the rest of the project to the size of the bordering here that you would like, okay? All right. So the first thing that we're gonna do is, with having my yarn here, I'm going to do a slip knot, okay? And you're just using everything the same yarn, the same hook, okay? So I do my slip knot. I hope I'm not off camera here. And then I remove it obviously, but I have this like loop here. I'm going to put my hook in the very bottom of that very first loop. I go through both loops here, and then I'm gonna bring my the loop on the yarn through my hook in like this. And then I'm going to start by doing a chain of 2, and this chain of 2 counts as a double crochet. And then I'm gonna yarn over, and so this obviously goes with that stitch here. So my next stitch to work into is that one here. So I'm gonna go into that stitch and do a double crochet, and then I'm gonna yarn over and go into the next stitch and do a double crochet, and then I'm gonna yarn over, go into the next stitch, do a double crochet. And so as you may have figured, we just do a row around of double crochet, okay? So we're gonna do this all the way to the end, but what I will do is I will work this to the top, and then I will show you guys, because over here there's stitches that you can follow very easily, but the top part of the sweater here, we don't have definite stitches. So come back so I can show you how to kind of work this section here. So in other words, do your double crochets until you get to this section right here, and then come back and I'll show you how to work this section before we go over to the other side, which is the same as this, which is easier. Okay, so I will see you guys when you get to the top here. Okay, my lovelies, so I have worked my double crochets just on the one side here. So just to show you guys how to work the top of it here. So I am right at the corner. So I will go into this corner here and do a double crochet, and then I will go into the next corner-ish area and do a double crochet there as well. And then I'll go into the next spot here and do a double crochet. And as you can see, this is how the top here looks like. So it just comes down to spacing it so that it's not too gappy, but it's not too kind of close to each other. So we're just placing a double crochet in a spot just very close, a couple of millimeters maybe, next to each other. Okay, so we just do this all around, or the top part at least here. And as you can see, this is what you want to accomplish. You want to accomplish them looking very even like that, because then it just looks like you're working over stitches that are very definite like that. Okay, so you go ahead and just complete this all the way to the other side. And however you worked the corner here, like I did, make sure you mimic that same thing on this side here. And then from that point on, you just work your normal stitches. As you can see, this side we have stitches, and then you just work your stitches all the way down to this bottom part here. And then when you get to here, come back to the video and I will show you how to start the next portion or the next part of the sweater. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my double crochets around the front of the sweater here. So as you can see, I'm just showing it to you here how the whole thing looks with just that one row of the double crochet. And so as you can see, I'm on the opposite side. This is where we started off here. I'm now on the opposite side. And so I'm going to show you how to do the next row, and then I will have you guys pretty much repeat it for a couple of rows before you can build up the right amount or the right size for the middle. But that's also going to be up to you as to how many rows you want to do. But I will show you what to do in this row and the next row, and then I will have you guys repeat that. Okay, so I have completed my double crochet right there, as you can see. And so I'm going to start the next row by doing a chain of 2 and turning. A chain of 2 in this part of the project is always going to count as a stitch, and it counts as a double crochet. And so when I pivot my work like this is connected to this stitch right here. And so my next stitch to work into is going to be these ones here. Okay, so with that there, I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to do a front post double crochet on the next stitch, just like that. And then I'm going to go on to the next stitch, which is this one here, and I'm going to complete a back loop double crochet or a back post double crochet, and then a front post double crochet onto this stitch here. And then in the next stitch, back post double crochet, and in the next one here, front post double crochet, and then you just alternate these all around until you get back to the other side. Okay, so as you can see, nothing too complicated, just front post double crochet, and then the next stitch, back post double crochet, and then front post double crochet, back post double crochet. So do this all the way around until you get back to the opposite side, which is this side here. When you reach the final one here, come back to the video. I will show you how to do the last stitch and then how to start the next row. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have reached the other end of these front post back post double crochets that we're doing around the front of the cardigan. So as you can see, this is how it should look when you place it down, and this is how your front of the cardigan is gonna look like. We're obviously gonna do a little bit more rows here, which I will continue, but just to show you guys how it looks like, this is pretty much the look of how it looks like so far. Okay, so as you can see, I have 2 stitches to go, and I wanted to show you guys how to finish off here. So I have this stitch here and I have this stitch right here. So I did a front post double crochet right there, So for this next stitch here, I'm going to do a back post double crochet like that. And then what I will do, because I cannot leave it like this, so as you can see, it doesn't look good at all, because we still have to work on that stitch as well. So what I do for this final stitch is a chain 2 from the previous row. I just go on top of the chain 2, so that the second stitch there, and I complete a normal double crochet like this. And that also matches with how when we start a row, we start with a chain 2, which counts as a double crochet. So we finish the same way, okay? And then for the next row, I start by doing a chain of 2 and turn. And then for these, we just follow the pattern of our front post, back post double crochets. So this counts as a stitch that goes with this stitch right here, this one here. And so this one here is kind of facing me, this front post, which is the back post from the previous row. So I'm going to work a front post double crochet on that, like that. And then this one that is away from me, so it's facing the back side, I'm going to do a back post double crochet. Okay. And then I just follow this pattern. Okay. So for this one, it's facing me. I'm going to do a front post double crochet. And then the one facing away from me, I do a back post double crochet. Okay. So we just alternate these all the way around to the end. When you get to the end, you will do whatever post, whether it's a front or back, for the second last stitch. And then for the very final stitch, you do a double crochet on the second chain of the chain 2 that you started the row with. And then you chain 2, turn your work, and then just repeat the same thing again. So for this project here, I want to do maybe, let's say, 3 inches of this front part of the sweater here. So I will probably do, let's say this is my 3rd row now, because our first row was the row of double crochet, and then the second, and now I'm starting my 3rd row. I will do 2 more rows, and I will kind of see, I will try it on to see how it falls. If there's still too gappy here, I will do more rows, and do the same, try it on. If it's too gappy here, you do more rows to bring it in. And then when you have reached the look that you think you like, then you can stop there and then come back to the video. So I will start with doing 5 rows and then see, and if I need to increase, I will. But however many rows that I will do, I will complete that and then come back and let you guys know the next step, okay? So for now, I'm just gonna continue repeating these for a couple of rows, okay? See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed my front part of this cardigan here. And as you can see, I stopped at about 6 rows. That is including the first row of the double crochets to set up our front post, back post double crochets. And so I just did my 6th row here. So I'm gonna end it here because I think it looks good. I tried it on. It looks awesome. It falls right in front of my body, just like the way it looks here on the table. Very nice. And so we're just gonna stop it here. If we continue to do it, we bring it a little bit too tight like this, and that's not good. So yeah, we're gonna stop it here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut my yarn to end the project. And as you can see, I already have it on the right side out, so I don't have to flip it because this last part of it, we worked it with the right side up, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead, just put my hook through here and complete a slip stitch, and then I will weave these in. And I have these, so these are the only 2 where we started this part and then where we're ending it. The rest of it, I weaved in everything already, so I don't have to do anything else. So yeah, this is pretty much the end of the sweater here. The one thing that you will notice that I'm doing on the pictures is I'm folding the sleeves a little bit like this because I overestimated the length of the sleeves a little bit. So they're a little bit long on me. But it's okay. Like some sweaters are actually more comfortable if it's just cozy and long. So I will, you will see that in some pictures here, I have it kind of folded like that. It's just so that it fits a little bit more tighter on the sleeves as opposed to it being loose. But yeah, this is just something that was an overestimation by me. But otherwise, it's a beautiful cardigan. It's nice. It's croppy. You can wear it in you can wear it on top of a nice dress if you're going out and you need something warm on you. You can wear it on top of a nice tank top underneath. Just, you know, overall it's a very dynamic kind of crop sweater that you're going to enjoy just kind of putting it on kind of like with almost everything that you can wear with. Okay, and with Valentine's coming up, this is something that you can also, if you make it in the color that you think represents Valentine's, you can wear it out with some nice jeans and then a tank top underneath, and then you throw this bad boy on top, and you're good to go. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna end the project. I'm just gonna weave these in off camera. I don't need to do that with you guys. And if you have not obviously weaved in all the other strands, go ahead and do that, and then your project is done. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for watching it. And if you have made it this far, it means you watch it all the way to the end. So I appreciate you for doing that, because it does support me and it does help with algorithm to watch the video all the way through. So I appreciate that. Don't forget to share, comment, like, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.